How you doing, movie lovers? Welcome back to Critical Cinema Movie Reviews. My name is Micah, and I will be your host for today. And today we are reviewing Mercy, starring Chris Pratt and Rebecca Ferguson. This movie was written by Marco Van Bell and was directed by Timur Bekmambetov. Hopping into the cast, we have Chris Pratt, who plays Detective Chris Raven. We have Rebecca Ferguson. She plays our AI judge, Judge Maddox. We have Callie Reese. She plays Jacqueline Diallo, Chris's partner. We have Annabelle Wallace, who plays Nicole Raven, Chris's wife. We have Christopher Sullivan, who plays Rob Nelson. He's Chris's AA sponsor as well as Nicole's boss. And we have Kylie Rogers, who plays Britt Raven. She plays the daughter in this movie. So let's hop in. This movie is a movie that mixes couple different genres together, right? You got a little mystery, you got a little science fiction, you got a little action in there, and it's a little bit of a thriller. I will say, and this movie is a bit of a slow burner until maybe the last 40 minutes or so. But boy, when it starts rolling, it goes from 0 to 60. So to set the scene for you, right? The movie starts in Los Angeles, and the opening credits starts by telling us that for some unspecified amount of time, that the streets are going crazy. They're saying there are riots all over the place. They're saying there are fires running rampant. They're saying that crime is running rampant. They're saying police and civilians are getting killed left and right. Low key sound like California in real life. Shout out Governor Newsom. Also, shout out all my Californians that are out there watching. Thank y'all for being here. Much love, much love. But back to the movie. Like I said, the city is going crazy. So they finally decide that they're done with it and they want to trial run this program they dubbed the Mercy Program, which, as I mentioned before, is an AI, basically takes the evidence that police gather from crime scenes along with any evidence they can find from the cloud, and it basically forms a case against whoever this said person is. We also find out that there have been 19 successful cases up till this point. All of them have been guilty verdicts, every single last one of them. Now, you would figure after seeing movies like Terminator, Ex Machina, iRobot, that the human race would have learned this lesson, but clearly we have not. And I truly think we got some type of fetish with self-destruction or something, because there's no reason that we should have all of these preceding movies, all of these preceding books, and we still like, we should do AI for sure. I just don't get it. Anyways, jumping back to Judge Maddox, right, played by Rebecca Ferguson. She's waking up Detective Chris Raven, played by Chris Pratt. We find out some key details about what's going on. We find out that he's a huge advocate for the Mercy Program. He was actually the detective that arrested the first person to go into the Mercy Program. But we also find out that the whole reason he is here is because he is accused of killing his wife. And like any normal person, he starts freaking out. Now, after all the pleasantries and formalities, we end up finding out that this man has 90 minutes to prove his innocence, and he has to make sure that he gets to a 93% threshold level, which I guess constitutes that he's innocent, or at least that there's been enough reasonable doubt for him to be considered innocent. They don't explain what happens if you get to the 93%. Like, do we go to a real trial, or am I just released? Like, they don't really explain none of that, so I won't get into it. But yeah, just to let y'all know that. So from this point on, I'm gonna be honest with you. As an audience, we are subjected to the world's deadliest game of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, because Chris ends up choosing everybody in his call log to phone a friend on. And I mean everybody. But specifically, he ends up calling his partner, Jack, who, like I mentioned before, is played by Callie Reese. As I also mentioned, the movie is a bit of a slow burn, so all we really see is a lot of banter between them two. Chris ends up finding some leads, right? He finds a couple different persons of interest, including a dude that was canoodling with his wife. But all of them end up being dead ends. Now, I'm going to let y'all know, if you do not want this movie spoiled for you, pause the video right now, go watch the movie, and then come back and we can discuss. And we'll be here waiting for you. Okay? Now I'm gonna give y'all a little second. They all gone? Let's get into it. So like I said, after, he get his little pep talk from the judge, he back on it and he is hitting on all cylinders. My man is connecting all of the dots. So after Detective Raven ends up digging a little bit more, right? He ends up finding a little bit of evidence, but he finds out that it's somebody at his wife's job that has done it. We go a little further in the movie. We find out the person that did it is her boss. The reason he killed her though, he's sneaking a little chemical off to the side for his own purposes, right? right? We think he trying to make some money. He's selling on the black market, whatever he doing with him. But he making his money on the side. And old girl finna tell. So of course, can't let nobody mess up the money flow. So he got ex-nigger. They in full force now. They find out, oh, Chris didn't actually do it. They send all the squads. I'm talking FBI, CIA, SWAT, Homeland, everybody riding up on this man's house. Get there. They kick in the door, of course. They get to the back shed though. My man's got the missing chemicals sitting back there. My man's got city plans laid out. My man's got a terrorist manifesto on the desk. My man's has gone full 9/11. My man is on full code red. He does not care anymore. Now, just to give y'all some insight, right? We find out the whole reason that Rob is doing this is because his brother was killed in the Mercy program. We actually find out that his brother was the first person to go into the Mercy program. Throwback to when I said that Chris and his partner arrested the first person. Yeah, we find out all of this is a revenge plot just to get back at this man. So this whole situation of him hiring his wife, part of the get back. This whole thing about him becoming his AA sponsor, part of the get back. This man getting all chummy with the family, coming to the family cookouts and everything, part of the get back. The whole time, this is a revenge plot. He trying to get his back in blood. Honestly, this man is on some light Yagami type beat. And if you're an anime fan, you know exactly who I'm talking about. If you're not, and go watch Death Note and you'll understand what I'm talking about. But like I said, all of this is just part of the revenge plot. Now, the whole plan is for him to set Chris up for the murder of his wife, to make sure that he is in the Mercy building when he decides to blow it up. My man's has been stealing chemicals so that he can make a truck bomb to blow this thing up. Now, at this point, Detective Raven is already off the hook. He could have been hopped out the chair. He's proven innocent, but he decides that he wants to stay in the chair because he needs access to all the stuff that Judge Maddox has access to. He's trying to make sure that he connected to everybody. Now, they end up working together a little bit. Judge Maddox and Detective Raven, they working together so they can stop Rob from blowing up the city. We get to the final showdown. Rob then busted in the building, and Chris, he over there peeping around the corner like he playing Assassin's Creed or something, and Judge Maddox pop up on the screen. And she's like, what is this? What is this that I hear about, you having some type of evidence to prove that your brother wrong? Because that's all that Rob really here to do, to be honest. Like, he here to get his get back, but he want to prove his brother innocence. So while Judge Maddox is trying to distract him, like I said, Detective Raven, he over there hiding behind corners. He jumps out, a scuffle ensues. The bomb gets deactivated. He gets the dead man switch. He pulls off him. He deactivates it. Now, while Chris is trying to arrest Rob, his partner come through like G.I. Jane trying to Swiss cheese this man, bro. She trying to put bullets in him so he don't see the next day. She trying to make sure he don't see the next minute. And in a last minute twist, we find out that Detective Diallo then sabotaged the very first case. Because like I said, Rob was talking about he got evidence that his brother was an innocent man. He ended up giving his brother a phone, and the phone logs were like tracked in his phone, but there was never a phone log when they booked him in. So Detective Diallo decided to take it into her own hands and make sure that the program seemed legit by getting rid of this man's phone. She done sabotaged it. End of the movie is basically Judge Maddox and Detective Raven like questioning, like, is this program valid? Like, are all of them guilty? It kind of calls into question, like, if the system is this easily manipulated and tampered with, should the program really even be around? But that's really where the movie ended off in, and I think it ended pretty well. Overall, the movie is very entertaining and it provides a good time. Now, I'm sure that y'all are ready for my movie review, but I do have to say, a couple of y'all asked me in the comments from my last video to give a breakdown, like an overall breakdown of my scoring. And since we rate these movies based on factors like storyline, character development, cinematography, rewatchability, and overall enjoyability, so let's get into it. For storyline, I gave this a 6.5 out of 10. The concept is decent, but there are multiple times where there's a little bit of plot armor that helps these characters out. I would say the biggest one would be the fact that Detective Raven is a detective. Like I said, there were 19 other cases and they was all guilty. If my boy was not a detective, he's getting cooked. He would have been out of there. Cause 90 minutes? You telling me I got 90 minutes to prove my innocence? What court case have you ever seen where somebody got 90 minutes to prove that they didn't do it? Absolute insanity. But you know what? I will say, all the twists at the end, they definitely help boost the score up. I won't lie to you on that. But moving on, we got character development. I gave this a 5 out of 10. I say most of the development that we seen in the movie really didn't come from anywhere outside of Judge Maddox. But even that's a little bit plot armorish just because it's like the whole time she's talking about some I'm an AI. I ain't got no feelings. I'm impartial. I just look at the facts. That's all I do is look at the facts. Right at the end, she started glitching. She like, I'm gonna help you out. I'm impartial, but I know I just did something that was impartial, but I'm impartial. Come on now. So 5 out of 10 for the character development. For the cinematography though, 8.7 out of 10. This is a very well shot movie. There really is no wasted screen time. Like we're not just looking at people for no reason. There aren't storylines that are like over here and over there that never get wrapped up. Like there's none of that. Also, I think it's a great movie to go watch in IMAX or 3D. That's what it was made for. I did watch it in IMAX. It was pretty good. That screen is really nice. I won't lie to you. For rewatchability and enjoyability, I give this a 7 out of 10. This is definitely one of the movies that like you could throw this on in the background while you got some homework going and you'll know exactly what's going on and you'll still enjoy yourself. All that being said, I'm sure y'all are ready for my overall movie review. So for Mercy, I rate this a 6.2 out of 10. The movie doesn't leave much to be desired, which in this case I think is a good thing, right? There are no open-ended plot points. There's no, will there be a number two? Like, no, ain't none of that. Very straight to the point. The movie was good. It's over with. The movie is, I believe, like 100 minutes, maybe a little more. So it actually sticks very close to like the 90-minute clock inside the movie. They stick pretty close to each other. So for maybe the first 40 minutes, it was like, man, 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 man. But after that, though, yeah, they start rolling. I would say great cast, great acting. I think it's very well shot, as I mentioned before. And I think you should definitely give it a watch. I will also say I don't think that this movie is like Oscar worthy. It's definitely not like Razzie worthy. It ain't bad by any means or standards. But I don't think nobody finna receive an Oscar nomination off of this one. But overall, I think this movie was a 6.2 for me. I said, please let me know what you rate this movie down in the comments. We can discuss, we can get into it. If you made it to the end of the video, I want to say thank you. And if you like this video and want to see more reviews like it, make sure that you like and subscribe. That way the algorithm knows that these videos are worth watching. And please turn on your notifications. That way you know when we drop a new video. If there are any movies that you would like me to review, please leave a comment below and I will try to get to them as soon as I can. Until next time, movie lovers, stay blessed and stay critical. Peace.